about where you are, so we will see straight out the door.
I knew that virtual reality was something that the school should be looking at. I knew that Nathan, a graduate of ours, started up a company, and when we had a conversation, I thought there was an opportunity for the school to really get involved in a project that could have an impact.
Scene 12B, take 2.
We've been used to telling stories in game environments and interactive environments, and this is for the sort of first time in a while, feels like the natural blending between sort of narrative forms like film and TV and games.
And 6. Yeah.
One predictor we read as part of this project said that in 10 years, VR will be bigger than television. When you start to imagine that's true, then our graduates coming out in 2, 3, 4 years' time need to be able to work in this environment.
VR Noir is a detective thriller, and in it you play the character of Veronica Coltrane, who gets caught up as a private detective taking on a job that she should have known better not to take.
Miss Coltrane, they said I should come to you.
It's about someone that's kind of lost their way and has just forgotten and lost the ability to care, but can find that through the journey of the piece as well.
The characters are all quite enigmatic, and I think that we don't know much about their past. Therefore, it is possible for some of them to return, for some of them to disappear.
Veronica Coltrane is our main character, and we were quite specific about choosing a non-stereotypical gender for this person. I think film noir is such an established sort of genre that you don't need to choose a male detective in that. And I think it's also a very conscious decision in the VR space, which is quite heavily male-skewed at the moment, to say let's choose something a bit different and shake it up.
Sometimes you are the character in the scene, and other times you're looking in on her and watching how she responds to, which is quite a challenging thing to do and a bit of an experiment.
Whip that on. Oh my God.
Virtual reality is an immersive experience. It's about putting you inside a virtual space. So by wearing a headset that surrounds your eyes so you can't see anything but the image that you're in, and then tracking where you look in position, you can be free to see inside that space. It's like having a television inserted into your eyes.
But having just put that on, my first thought was, this is a drug. It's incredibly exciting.
In VR, you have sound that moves with you as you move around spaces, you move your head, the sound comes closer, further away. It's very interactive and completely and utterly immersive.
I believe I know where he is, where you'll find him.
Such a new form of storytelling, because you're instantly totally immersed in it. The real world's instantly gone. There's nothing else you can see or hear. It's just the story.
It makes you reevaluate your sensory perceptions. It's almost like some distant memory of infancy where you're going back and you're thinking, my gosh.
Do you feel like a female detective? I feel like I'm lost in the Alps.
Oh, no, you got the wrong one, the Alps.
I got the wrong.
I can imagine people just wanting to only live in that world. I don't know whether that's really exciting or really frightening.
Wow, that's amazing.
The exciting part of virtual reality in general is the unknown. It's so new that you really don't know the outcome all the time, and that is very exciting in itself as a filmmaker.
At this moment in time, what we're doing is exploring this sort of uncharted territory.
Imagine this camera's the left eye and this camera's the right eye, and they're about the same distance apart as the eyes in your head.
How much theory versus practice is there in this rig right now?
So it's about 80-20.
You don't have frame composition and you don't have editing. Therefore, the two fundamental tools of cinematic storytelling are out.
So the key things we're really conscious of was, because the audience has freedom to look, we have to be responsible for compelling them to look. So we thought a lot about architecture. We thought a lot about how theatre works to steer the eye and steer your attention. Certain parts of the story will only occur when you find certain objects within a scene. So these become trigger points. So when you're writing the story, you're not just writing a central storyline to follow, but you're writing a series of branches that may or may not be encountered by the audience, but each one they find will have an accumulative effect.
I loved being in the immersive world. It felt like I was actually the character. I actually felt invested. I could make the choice, and I felt bad if I picked the wrong choice.
I think engagement is the fact that you are in a world, but you still have to take them down that journey and get to the end result. And sometimes the technology holds you back, and sometimes it can make that even better.
Stop!
How well can this technology serve the stories that we love already and the stories that we want to create?
There is a danger that technology can get in the way, but you've got to keep story at the forefront of the production. It can often be forgotten in some VR productions out there, but that's what we're trying to achieve with this, and that's what's great about working with the film school.
AFTRS is a place which filters out the noise in terms of where technology is heading and then presents the truth to industry through these research projects. So rather than wait and follow the trend, I think it's good to be out there and discovering it.
It's absolutely at the forefront internationally, and a good idea in this space can come from anywhere, and why not from here?
It's hard to imagine what it's going to be like. So you just got to jump out there and do it.
It's like having new paints on a canvas. I get to paint with colours that I haven't had before. I've got to solve narrative problems that you don't solve when you're making a film or a TV show.
You feel like you at the beginning of a film, you know? The train arrives, and what does that mean? So we're at this stage, and it's really exciting.
It's the great creativity that comes from having new limitations and new challenges that opens up new possibilities.
Did we think we might fail? This project made you feel like you were Alice falling into the Wonderland, and you just kept falling with no landing in sight, but along the way you learnt these great things about VR.